We're now here, and the Earth is carrying us from the autumn equinox to the winter solstice. We'll be there in 8 weeks. Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, 300 times more massive than the Earth. Even its famous red spot, a millennial storm, is 4 times bigger than the Earth. Jupiter is a ball of gas. We'll never be able to land there because it has no land or solid surface. In the middle of this enormous sphere of gas, there's certainly a rocky or metallic core as big as the Earth. Jupiter's diameter is 12 times the Earth's, and its mass is 300 times the Earth's. Its pull is strong enough to prevent the 4 Galilean moons from rotating. They're firmly gripped by Jupiter and always have the same face turned towards the planet. One of these moons, Io, is so torn between the pull of Jupiter and the pull of the other moons that it twists out of shape. This may be the reason for its mysterious heat and volcanic eruptions. Because of its mass and the resulting pull, Jupiter has emptied space all around it. It has sucked in all the interstellar matter in its vicinity, preventing any other planet from forming nearby. Jupiter has only one neighbor, a distant one, Saturn, 700 million kilometers away. We should congratulate the ancient astronomers who realized the planet's importance and named it after Jupiter, father and king of the gods. At the beginning of the 17th century, Galileo discovered Jupiter's 4 moons, the Galilean moons. Visible through binoculars, they circle Jupiter so fast that they change position every night. In fact, Jupiter is surrounded by 16 moons. It's a miniature solar system in itself, like the 9 planets revolving around the Sun. Planets aside, the Sun is surrounded by an asteroid belt. And Jupiter has 2 rings, invisible from the Earth. As the center of a miniature solar system, Jupiter really is small scale. 1,000th the mass of the Sun. But compared to the planets, Jupiter alone has double the mass of all the other planets, Earth included. Its influence stretches out into the solar system. 800 million kilometers, 500 million miles away on Jupiter's orbit, 2 groups of asteroids, the Trojans, precede and follow Jupiter like a distant escort for the father of planets. The Sun and Jupiter formed at the same time, 4.5 billion years ago, in the center of the same nebula by attracting and absorbing matter. As the Sun swallowed more and more matter, it became so massive that its internal pressure set off a continuous nuclear reaction, and that's why it shines. While the Sun formed 700 million kilometers away, Jupiter was doing the same thing. But it turned out different. It's just a large planet with rings and satellites. Jupiter is a wannabe star, but it didn't attract enough interstellar matter. If it had, it would have grown into a star, lighting up our nights. The planets which revolve around the Sun form 2 different groups. Near the Sun are the 4 solid planets, Mercury, Venus, the Earth, and Mars. Far from the Sun are the gas giants, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Each planet's fate was determined by its distance from the Sun. Near the Sun, it was hot, and gases boiled off. Mercury no longer has an atmosphere, and the Earth has kept only a thin layer of gas, the air we breathe. But far from the Sun, hydrogen and helium stayed put, to form the giant planets like Jupiter. Near the sun, gravity is stronger. The sun slows the spin of its closest planets, Mercury and Venus. Far from the sun, Jupiter and Saturn rotate twice as quickly as the Earth. Near the sun, the Earth has only one moon, while Venus and Mercury have none. Far from the sun, Jupiter and Saturn have many moons and rings too. Like the Earth, Jupiter is a planet, but it's a very, very different world from ours. Next week, it's the end of daylight saving time, and we put our watches back an hour. When our watches show the time, they show the position of the Earth in relation to the sun. Normally, when the sun passes the Paris meridian, it should be noon in Paris. The Earth turns once on its axis in 24 hours, and every hour the Earth points another slice towards the sun. The Earth is divided into 24 time zones. An hour after aiming the Prague meridian at the sun, the Earth turns the Paris meridian sunwards. 2 hours later, the sun shines down on Brazil, and Greenland too. Another 2 hours and the sun passes the New York meridian. 3 hours later, it's Los Angeles. Under daylight saving time, these time zones are shifted to the east. During the summer, the English keep Prague time, and the French and the Germans Istanbul time. At the end of daylight saving time, when we put our watches back, we bring our time zones back towards their true position, where local time roughly corresponds to the Earth's position in relation to the sun. But sundials remain honest, always true to the time the sun gives.